Hello, everybody. My name is Elisha Harrington. I'm Senior Director here for ServiceNow, and I'm focused on helping to build operational resilience in financial services, our customers and partners across the region. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how you can future-proof your enterprise when it comes to financial institutions and how they're really driving resilience from IT and into the business units across all of the different applications that there are in financial services. I'll take you through more broadly some of the capability, some of the use cases in industry that we're seeing, and how you can really bring intelligence into your organization and start to take more of a predictive approach. So with that, I will just navigate to the next slide. And please note that Safe Harbor does apply for and forward-looking statements for this presentation. So we work with this is well over 900 to 1,000, financial institutions globally across financial services, wealth and asset management, insurance, across investment banking, many different customers globally. And interestingly enough, even we've, started with our grassroots in IT and IT transformation. But we are actively working in the lending, credit cards, underwriting divisions of insurance, really managing all of their middle and back office operations, the workflows in there, and measuring the risk and integrated risk management approach in ServiceNow. So that's where you see the figure on the screen, where it's 60% is actually beyond IT workflows and into the business domain as well. So I wanted to set the scene, together talking about some macro trends we're seeing across fintech pressure. We're noticing, obviously, with all of the looking at the time to first spend, looking at measurements in a bank for, increasing the share of wallet. There's this increased pressure in the market to be more like a fintech, have digital banking experiences, having applications that are up 24/7, and really meeting the day-to-day other generational needs in consumer preferences for how they interact with either the bank or insurance company. We're seeing this play out in terms of how IT and business come together to develop innovation and really being able to offer this end-to-end experience for customers. And I would say that also in terms of the second trend you see here, accelerating business climate. This is really about building resilient operations. We know there's been, Europe and UK regulation, global regulation that has been spurring around the world and even in jurisdictions in our APJ region here. And this is around operational resilience, risk tolerances, and the ability for either the bank or financial institution to absorb risk. What this means is it's really looking at how you can future-proof your operational processes across IT and business, ensuring that your applications are up and running, they are meeting the SLA requirements, and you have this obligation to really meet the operational risk when it comes to this board down level focus. We're seeing operational resilience as a key theme. And obviously legacy environment, really being able to unlock the productivity. Data is in very disparate sources across many different systems. And you're trying to, look at how you can remove fragmentation. We'll show you how with ServiceNow we can start to address these problems around the legacy environment and start to bring a unified approach to managing IT, managing middle and back office operations in the business, how IT and business can partner together to achieve this more broadly in the transformations. So, with this, we're seeing black swan events, what they call black swan events, whether it may be that, consumers can see into each other's bank balances, various outages occurring, various mishaps when it comes to cybersecurity issues, privacy. We're seeing this across the board. And the fraudsters and a lot of the sophistication in this area is definitely a mammoth task to tackle. We're seeing banks worldwide having to suffer with the reputational damage that comes with this as well. So really this is just a signal that it's happening a lot, and across the industry more broadly, we need to address this from different angles. And we'll show you how ServiceNow can, tackle some of these pitfalls. So what's operational resilience? I touched on it very briefly, but again, this board strategy down is really important, where banks need to actually focus on recovery, improvement, demonstrate the evidence of these remediation activities. If, for example, there's something wrong with the applications, infrastructure, something wrong with security, you will need to be able to demonstrate to the regulator that you have the remediations in place, that you're able to identify a disruptive event when it's occurring, but also try and have preventative controls in place to prevent these things from happening in the first place. And a mechanism to really enable all of your IT folk and business folk so that they can, rapidly respond to the event. If there is a problem within the bank or insurance company, notify customers really proactively. So when we talk about digital transformation, this is, there's a lot more services, there's a lot more service requests coming into IT. IT is being leaned upon when it comes to new applications, new developers, DevOps teams are growing, microservices is really growing. So the number of digital services is just really a lot to handle. And really, not just one team can handle this. Distributed nature of teams is also a play here. So as we see our customers evolving their operating models, what we're seeing is this combination of, in the IT space, we're seeing, centralized teams of service and operations come together. We're seeing this hybrid operating model where these distributed teams, DevOps and site reliability engineers, are also coming together. With modern practices such as, being cloud native, having that observability and that AI machine learning techniques to handle some of these activities and operations and dive into the workflow of these teams and have visibility across these teams is really key here. All whilst trying to deliver the same outcomes of experience, resilience, speed, and cost. With this explosion of digital services, we're seeing things like the volume of incidents from people increase, and really this need to have this intelligence-powered automation in the background, starting to work with machines, and start to monitor the data from that. And having this automation is really key for the IT house. When we talk about the introduction of AI-powered service operations here, this is all on the Now platform with a single data model and single architecture. Bringing together these two teams of service and operations, we use our powerful integration machine learning techniques such as clustering AI to develop AI for service automation. So that's using our virtual agent, agent assistant AI search to do certain things, like it may be password reset. How can we ensure that that's automated, or have a virtual agent for employees to just go and self-serve and work with AI so that they can do basic tasks themselves, and we don't need to bog down the operational teams from having to service these requests. Things like content recommendations, search result prediction, we can start to really bring in intelligence techniques into the platform. And AI for ops automation. This is things like fingerprinting and mapping, event and alert correlation, health log analytics. Some of the use cases we're seeing and working with clients are discovering and mapping services, reducing event and incident noise, and predicting issues from log anomalies. So we're able to pick up this anomalies based on history and be able to recommend certain remediation actions, bringing together all of this intelligence in the platform. And AI for service operations, this is around using techniques like classification, similarity analysis, regression, clustering, all very, AI techniques that we're giving to you on the platform to address use cases such as route alerts and incidents to the right place, ensuring that the right people are actually servicing the right request the first time, predicting change risks throughout the IT house, predicting issue resolution time, and identifying automation use cases. Say, for example, we might have a process that needs to be addressed. We can actually use process optimization, and we can identify areas that we can automate in the IT shop. And we extend it to DevOps and site reliability engineers as well. So we can start to look at DevOps visibility and these changes and start to automate these changes and look at performance and KPIs over time. And site reliability engineers really look at onboarding teams and registering those services, tracking SLOs and error budgets, and predict and preventing issues. And we will, integrate with all of the latest tools across CI/CD, tool chain, notification, and collaboration. So you don't actually have to navigate out your chosen tool. We can integrate with those seamlessly, as well as the monitoring and observability stacks as well. The capabilities to really required to deliver operational resilience is having this front to back collaboration visibility across say in a bank, for example, across front office teams, what applications and critical services they have, middle and back office teams, and back office back and accounting teams and finance teams that are sitting in the back office of the bank, for example. Having this visibility across those teams, visibility of the infrastructure that sits underneath those applications, having the mapping in our CMDB and the service mapping is really key here. We want to improve the employee experiences so that they can work with machines and operate with this new data so that they're able to make the decisions that they need to, rather than being, looking at manual logs and trying to track the remediation and trying to do service requests at scale. That is really difficult. And integrated risk management compliance, integrated risk management across IT and operational risk, being able to look at the controls, the risk taxonomies, having that all inbuilt in ServiceNow with our IT suite is really, really powerful. And, really we are this platform where we bring together all of this in an integrated approach and holistic approach in the platform across these areas. We want to enable a single organizational view. So this is tracking the most important business processes in one area across technology, people, facilities, vendors, partners, having this impact tolerance and this wide visibility view of the risk assessments. Maybe the bank is carrying out a risk assessment on a vendor. We can use contract management and vendor management to assess all of this information and make sure that the vendor that's working with the bank or insurance company is really, managing on performance expectations and have that collaboration between the institution and the vendor. So we want to make sure that we have a mature to real-time compliance view and track approved changes to important business services. Second, we want to drive resilience remediation workflows, where we want to have a dynamic creation of remediation tasks if control thresholds are breached, traceability on issue remediation, and we bring in all of the integration there to have a full life cycle of operational resilience here. And we want to integrate to continuously monitor those controls. So whether you need to provide insight to regulators to evidence compliance, as we talked about, we have real-time compliance indicators and the continuous monitoring of these against policies and governance, and we can produce that in dashboard format and use AI and machine learning to start to provide predictive controls monitoring. And we embed IT management as a core enabler so that we can start to bring together the service monitoring and issue detective all on the service aware installed database and have that IoT monitoring even in hardware if you have on-premise servers or you have different applications that need to be monitored as well. We bring all of this together as a core enabler. And all you need for operational resilience is to make sure that your supporting technology is mapped. Having this connect to, say, your customer service suite as well, so that you can notify customers, say if a lending platform goes down or a payments infrastructure goes down, you can start to send automatic notifications to your customers before the potential pitfall happening, so that you could say, hey, don't make a payment in 2-hour gap because we're gonna have this issue. We can see it coming, and you're able to notify your customers more proactively. ServiceNow, workflows leverage a common data model. We have all of our, areas of IT suite mapped with all the integrated risk management lens, so that everything is linked in a common data model in the CSDM and in the CMDB. We do this business service mapping so we can notify agents proactively in real time, so that people in the loan servicing area, the restructuring area of loans, say, for example, in a bank, they can harness the power of machine learning to predict issues before they occur. And we can also use process optimization to identify bottlenecks and automation opportunities, as we talked about before, but create process maps for KPIs and conduct this root cause analysis. And this is all together on the platform of platforms, where we're working closely with integrating all of these systems of records into ServiceNow so that we create this unified experience across customer workflows, IT workflows, and employee workflows, really embedded and integrated across the organization. So I would just leave this with you, is that as the banks are starting to address new things like climate risk, technology risk, looking at environmental footprint in the IT space. We have various solutions and use cases to address this, but we're addressing it in a really integrated way so that you harness all of the power of ServiceNow in one platform. And with that, I'd like to end here and say thank you. I hope this provided you just a flavor and a little bit of insight into what we're doing in financial services, how you can address operational resilience. I would love to talk to you in more depth in a later date. Thank you for now and good luck.